Back in 1993, I decided I needed a new depth and knot meter. There was a place for the knot meter wheel to go in, that was no problem, but there was no place for the depth sounder to go through the hull. I've always been of the opinion it's far better not to cut any holes in your boat that you don't have to cut. And my philosophy is to try to put things in so that later on they can be removed and you've never known that they were in there. So in that vein, I went below and I took the depth sounder puck and a baggie full of water. I wet down the hull sides and I put the baggie on the wet hull side, wet down the bag, and used the transducer puck on top of the bag to shoot through the hull and see where it was good. See where it was no problem to shoot through the hull and get a good depth sounding. I knew the depth of the water I was in the slip I was in from a little handheld. I also decided that where I really wanted to take the reading from my depth sounder was a little forward. So, in this compartment right here, normally the back would be up, but I've got them off for painting, I decided to put the depth sounder puck. So if you come around to this side and look down in here, and you can see where I mounted it. Now, when I did this, I wrote it all up and I posted it on our website pages. There was no such thing as YouTube at the time. Remember, this was 1993. So, after this long, 24 years, I decided it was probably time to check the oil. What I did was put a PVC tube down with a cover in it and mount the transducer in it and filled it with oil. For 24 years it's been working great. I was doing the bilge paint. I'm about to paint that, and I decided it's a good time to check the oil. So I started to unscrew the cap, and because it was all put together with nothing but sealant, the top actually came off. Not a catastrophe. As I said, I sealed it with sealant. So this time, with the top off, I removed all the old sealant to make sure that got taken away. And then I went ahead and used PVC cement to secure the plexiglass top to the PVC tube. And I'll refill it with oil. This way I've got a transducer that shoots through the hull, no openings, and it's forward of the deepest part of our keel. We have a cutaway forefoot, and it's just off to the starboard side. If you look carefully, you can see that there's a small hole right here that I drilled in the cap to put the oil in, and I'm using just standard mineral oil. Someone suggested stopping by the feed store and getting a horse syringe because I can get a whole lot in it, and it was like $1.50. So I can use this to go ahead and put the mineral oil in there when I'm ready to refill it when we get back to splash and launching. Now, even though I have sealed that top down with PVC glue, because I took oil out when I opened it up, I took all the oil out of it. It still has a little bit of oil left around it. So I'm going to use a little acetone here and clean around the area to ensure that all of the mineral oil that I used in here is removed. And then I'm going to use sealant again to put a seal around the top and just over the side so that I know it's completely sealed. And one of the things I'm going to use for that is this tape. This is normally a tape used by drywall installers, and you see it's got a net to it, and it's sticky on one side but not the other. I will stick that around, leave a little bit coming up, cut it, fold it over, and use the sealant around that. This will give the sealant a little hole around to a hold like you use fiberglass. I cut off a little piece of plexiglass, roughened it up, and after I fill that hole with the oil, I'll put some sealant, some more sealant on this, and push it down. That will seal it again, and should be good for another, well, let's hope another 24 years.